Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are taking a break from the usual raid series to discuss an early wipe strategy for beginner players that may just help you to recoup some of your losses in a fairly short amount of time with a relatively low risk of death. And that strategy that I'm talking about today is running the hidden stashes, and in particular, I'm talking about running the hidden stashes on woods. And now there's a couple of reasons as to why I like to do this, especially early raid. One, it kind of gives you some time to rest. Woods is a larger map, and it is gives you kind of some breathing room between you and any PMCs or hostile scavs you might encounter. So uh, that's one reason. And another reason why is that when you run stashes, you gain map knowledge while you're walking around looking for the stashes and looking for loot while you're doing so. You're scanning your environment, and when you're doing that, you're just learning the map. You're learning its ins and outs. You're learning shortcuts, and that helps to kind of build your map knowledge, which is a very important thing to do when you're talking about getting into uh, PvP battles. So, knowing the map is very important. It's not just all gunplay. Knowing the map is key to winning battles sometimes. So, another reason why we do this is for quest items. You you might come across quest items that you've been needing, and if you've been dying a lot, and you go to run some stashes and you end up finding maybe a USB or a gas analyzer or something along those lines. It's kind of nice to get a little quest here and there out of the way. Uh, Another reason is for guns and armor. Sometimes if you've been taking a lot of losses, you're spending a lot of money, and you just don't really have much money for armor and guns with the traders. So that's another reason why it's important to, I think, run these hidden stashes early on in the wipe, especially when you're down bad. And last but not least, we're going to talk about rubles, because sometimes you can really gain a lot of loot that's going to earn you a lot of rubles with the traders early on in wipe. And, that's just as important as anything. Now, you might be asking yourself, average Tarky, how do I find hidden stashes? I don't know the maps. How do I do this? Well, that's a good question, my friend. The Tarkov Wiki is a very useful resource for this. So if you go to the Tarkov Wiki, you can go to the maps of Tarkov, and you can go to each one individually, and there are there's plenty of map data that you can find through that, or you could just Google it. If you Google it, I'm sure if you just typed in, uh, Escape from Tarkov, Woods, Hidden Stashes, I'm sure you'll find a map, and just go to your legend, find the little marker for what's going to apply for hidden stashes, and then find where they are. Maybe set it up on a second screen if you have that, or just close out your window, your Escape from Tarkov window, and look at the map while you're playing. You can do this offline. You don't have to run this while you're in a live raid. And that's a couple of ways of how you can get familiar with where the hidden stashes are on any of the maps. So now I'm just going to let the rest of this play out. I'm sure you've been watching to see what I'm getting here, and when we're at the end, we're going to go through and break down the guns that we have and all the other loot, and sell it off to each individual trader, and see how many rubles we've made in somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes. I can't remember how long this raid was, maybe like 13, which isn't a very long time, especially if you've been losing a lot, you've been dying a lot, spending your rubles, and you're running low, and you don't know what to do. You got crap for guns, you've got crap for armor. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and do that at the end of this. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, and that's going to do it for the hidden stash run on woods. So now we are back at the stash and we are going to break down everything that we got here. Um, and like I said, we're going to do this based off of how many rubles we can make. Of course, it's up to you. You want to keep the loot, whatever. We got 545 BP and a few mags there, so that would be perfectly acceptable to keep and hold on to. But we're just going to sell everything off here. Uh, and first off here with mechanic, we're selling off all of our ammo, our magazines, and our guns. We've done a slight breakdown of everything that we acquired gun wise, and of course you want to sell those to mechanic. We broke down the AK that we had because it had a nice stock on it. Of course, you could keep that stock, but we're going to end up selling it. Fence also buys the knives, so we also sold that as well. Here with Ragman, this is going to be our biggest sale here. We got the 2 level 4 helmets, and of course the little the bag and the rig there. Of course, early on in wipe you would probably want to hang on to those level 4s, but we're just going to focus on rubles here. We had our couple of high-end antique items that we sold to the therapist. Of course, therapist, you want to sell your barter items. I went back to Fence and sold the Slim Diary because he's, I believe, the only one who buys it. So that was another 30,000 there. And then our weapon attachments that we took off some of our guns. So now why don't we tally up everything that we made? We got 58,000 from mechanic, and then we got 37,000 in total from Fence. I believe this was therapist, 69,000. And then of course with Ragman we got 184,000 rubles, and that, my friends, is a grand total of 350,000 rubles. And that's not too bad for, you could run your stashes in 10 to 15 minutes roughly. And like I said, if you're having a bad go of it, then that's not a bad idea to go do one of those runs and make some rubles. So, anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Since it was a pretty quiet episode and there was no gunplay or fighting, I'm just gonna leave you guys with this here. This is a clip from the first ever episode of a raid that I posted to my channel, and it was just a fun little interaction that I had with a PMC. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy.